LDMMAC, forgive the background noise, just let's get into it. Boy, this boy here got him. Boy, this Ariel Helwani, this boy got a big-ass nose here. Damn, look at this damn nose. He's got the whole world in his nose. He's got the whole world in his nose. God dang. Boy, turn sideways and slap you across your face giving him an interview. I mean, I guess that's why he always sniffing around. Okay, y'all, but seriously, let's get into this, man. Look, we knew it was a matter of time before Pelican Nose came out and said something about Dana White giving his boy $250,000. Now, guys, I'm not pro Dana White. I can't stand the bald-head bastard either, just like Ariel can. But, $250 of his own money, and he can just give it. See, I think Ariel is upset because Ariel's saying, I ain't giving nobody $250,000. Well, Ariel, you probably don't have it just to give like that at the drop of a dime. I think part of Ariel is kind of jealous that Dana can just go to the bank, get $250,000 out the bank, and just give it to one of his friends. Come on, y'all. Y'all think Ariel Helwani can do that? Do y'all think he can just pull out $250,000 just like that and go give it to somebody? Now, I'm pretty sure Ariel make pretty good money. But he can't just go to the bank and just take out $250K and not even blink and think about it. Nah. We know Ariel ain't finna do that. Nope. So let's get that straight. But Dana White, we gotta understand how Dana White thinks. And I'm gonna tell you guys, pretty much, I'm gonna tell you a story, okay? Dana White has mafia mentality, okay? It's there. But Dana, early on in his years, he was very fascinated with the mafia. Very fascinated. In fact, Dana White was a student of their behavior. Because you got to understand, he had to deal with a lot of these type people early in the business. Okay, this man was a complete student of the mafia. Okay? Now, why was he so intrigued with it? Because he was very intrigued on how they were able to amass wealth. And they did it illegally, but they were able to amass hundreds of millions of dollars. And they got all this money through illegal means. But Dana also studied them to the point that he knew that eventually your time as a mafia, in any kind of mafia, is going to end, okay? The police, they're going to shut it down, they're going to end it, and the ride is over. So Dana White knew this also. So Dana White took a lot of principles from the mafia, and he brought that kind of mentality over to the UFC. You have to understand that's why he's still in business now. That's why he's the number one. That's why he's number one. Okay? This man has pretty much strong-armed all the top talent. He done took him away from other promotions. Basically, the other promotions, they are good promotions, but Dana White has secured the top talent. He secured, and he does it every year. He does it every year. Now, why? Like, why would a guy like Dana, who come from like a boxing background, how is he able to really just keep securing his talent over and over and over? It's the way he thinks, okay? He thinks like a mafia, thinks like a mafia boss. He thinks like a gang leader, he thinks like a pimp. Okay, but, Dana knew that these people, they don't last long. They may go for maybe even a decade at the most, but these people, they always get taken down. So Dana now said, I'm going to do it legally. I'm going to run my business like a mafia. I'm going to run my business like a pimp, and I'm going to do it legally. Okay? Let's get an analogy, man. When I was a kid, and here's the story. When I was young, I used to do illegal stuff when I was 14 and 15. I mean, you drop off packages. You know what it is. You got a cut, okay, of what you brought back. You got a cut. And the cut percentage was the same. There wasn't any, hey, we're going to increase this, or you going to the leader and you try to negotiate. These type of people, they don't negotiate with you. They kill you. They don't negotiate with you. They kill you. But Dana White knew I can't be killing people because that's not going to work either. So Dana White strong arms these fighters in other ways. Okay. But these leaders, they're not going to, as long as you're with them, they're not going to allow you to go out and diversify your income and make a bag without them knowing about it. Could you imagine if I would have did the same thing, or if I would have tried to start my own brand to go pick up and receive, do you know I would have got killed? I mean, but that's the mafia mentality. Eliminate the competition. I mean, hadn't Dana White all but done that? Hadn't Dana White all but done that? I mean, to be honest, Dana was an integral part of why Strike Force failed. Not because he made it fail, because he was just so much more better and more strategic and tactical than Scott Coker. I mean, that's really why. Dana White was a much, much better intelligent businessman than Scott Coker was. And so Dana was able to steal that talent. He was able to steal that talent. Hell, while Strike Force was going on, man, Dana White had already had a plan to get the top talent. This dude had his eye on Ronda Rousey before Ronda Rousey even became Ronda Rousey. Like, that's how far ahead Dana is business-wise. And that's why he's the number one leader. That's why he's on top. And that's why every year he stays on top. Despite the lawsuits and the accusations, the guy runs his business like he's the mafia head. When you think about it, think about these fighters, man. Think about how Dana actually do this, right? These fighters, the pimp's job is to give the hoe what she needs outside of financial compensation. But anything that the hoe could want, clothes, food, place to stay. The hoe don't have to want for anything because the pimp does all these things. Whatever the hoe want, the pimp go buy it. Because all the pimp want the hoe to do is to work. Guys, can y'all see that same analogy? Can y'all see that same analogy from the way Dana White run the UFC? Folks, I see it all day. Because the hoe can't go out and go get a side job. Do you think the pimp gonna allow that? If the hoe go out and get her a side job to make ends meet, do you think that pimp gonna go for that? That pimp gonna want his cut. Dana White don't let these people go out here and make a huge bag. I mean, he'll let them do them submission underground tournaments, and he'll let them do meet and greets and stuff like that. And he'll do that. And the meet and greets are through the company. But Dana White will let him do submission grappling, but Dana White gonna still get his cut. He getting his cut. Let's just say a fighter go off and do something and make $2 million. The first thing Dana White gonna sue, he gonna sue them. He's gonna sue that fighter for breach of contract, and he's gonna get his cut. That's what he gonna do. Dana White understand. He understand how these people think. That's what it is. And he's been that kind of businessman, and that's I'm like, damn, this dude, he think just like the mob do, bro. Because the mob ain't giving you nothing. They gonna give you what they give you, and that's it. You ever look at how he do his contracts? You know how hard it is to renegotiate a contract with him? And even when you renegotiate the contract, guess what he do? Dana White just find another area of your contract to take money away from you. So it's not like he's giving you more, he's just gonna take away. He may take away from the merchandising. He may take away from the pay-per-view points. I mean, there are ways that this man is going to finagle a contract to make him more money and to pay you less. That's what he do. Dana White is that type dude. He keep his hoes in line. They can talk about how much Dana White don't pay him in this, but at the end of the day, a lot of you fighters are hoes, and y'all signing the contract. And once you put your name on the dotted line, he already got you. It ain't. I mean, you can say what you want to say, but once you sign the dotted line, that's it. So these fighters, they up in their feelings. And see, they've allowed this guy to do this for so long. This guy, he's strong-armed these people to the point, man, to where they can't even move, man. And some people scared to speak out about it because they're afraid of what Dana White would actually do if they spoke out. Now, some fighters they're woke. Some fighters are woke. And some fighters have their eyes open. And they know what's going on before them, but they can't do nothing about it. Like guys like Conor McGregor, he awoke. And have y'all noticed, man, when this guy kept asking for a piece of the company? Y'all notice as soon as he started asking for a piece of the company, Conor McGregor started really getting his ass whooped. I'm talking about getting it whooped to a point to where it's like, dude he's a joke now in MMA. Like Conor McGregor is a joke, okay? He's a joke. But he knew what his worth was. And was Conor McGregor right? Yeah. But they wasn't that. No, Dana, a mob boss ain't finna share. He ain't finna bring in. He not finna make his lieutenant assistant general. That don't make sense. I knew that wasn't gonna work. I knew Dana White was not gonna share a piece of the company with Conor. No way. See, I told y'all no matter how much Dana White likes a fighter, right? no matter how much he really does like a fighter, he might like him, but he will never, ever put himself, okay, in the same, him and his fighters will never be equal. Dana White and his fighters will never be his equals. Never. Okay? I don't care what happens, they'll never be his equal, and he will never allow his fighters to be on the same level as him. He ain't gonna do it. And do you know that if he were to actually let Conor McGregor have a piece of the company, that means that he would have had to rescind. He would have had to rescind, his whole reputation as a boss, as a cutthroat. See what I mean? Dana White couldn't have been the cutthroat that he really, really is if he'd have gave Conor McGregor a piece of the company, because he'd have been looked at as soft. Nah, he wasn't going to do that, man. There was no way that Dana was going to even make the effort to let Conor McGregor be on his level. You can't. The pimp can't let the hoe be a pimp. He can't do it. Because if he do it, that means, well, what's the use? And then Dana don't want to be looking over his shoulders. One thing that people in gangs and mafias, they have a fear. And I noticed this, man, when I grew up in some of that culture. They always afraid of getting snuffed out by somebody who close to them. Yeah, it scared these guys to death. Like, guys, it legit scared them to death. Like the dude I used to run with, man, before I had my wake-up moment, he was terrified to death of somebody close to him killing him. And he didn't want to think about it at all. He talked about it all the time. Like one of his boys or one of his partners killed him, so he was always the head. He was always the head. He never brought nobody up because that person would compete to take you out. And so Dana White understands this very well. If he would have allowed Conor McGregor to be on his level, okay, that would have gave Conor McGregor the ammunition to try to move Dana out. And that's just how it is. That's just what it is. And Dana didn't want that. That's why Dana is the way he is, okay? That's why he's got his hoes. And that's why he continuously treats them the way he treats them. It is what it is, folks. I mean, Dana isn't going to change. He ain't going to change the way he thinks. He ain't going to do it now. And that $250K, to be honest, it was actually symbolic. Like, look, I do what the hell I want to do. Now, here come Ariel Helwani. Let's get back to him, okay? Ariel is a guy, okay? Ariel is not just any guy. Ariel is a guy. And Ariel talks for a living. That's what he got to do. Ariel is in people's business for a living. But see, one of these days, okay, somebody gonna hurt Ariel. I'm talking about somebody gonna really hurt him. And they're not gonna give a damn about being sued or they don't care. But if y'all notice, man, ever since Ariel Helwani started really trying to get up under Dana White and trying to expose Dana White, this man done lost a lot of money fucking with Dana White. And if Ariel not careful, man, Dana is very well connected. If he's not careful, okay, Ariel Helwani gonna lose a lot more money and a lot more positions and a lot more jobs. Because it's kind of crazy, man, that this dude, like, you work at ESPN, but you can't even, and this is the funny part, okay, you can't even go in your own damn company. You can't go in your own damn company when Dana White around. Like your own company telling you, escorting you out the door. Folks, that's power. That is power. I'm saying your own damn company, okay? Where you work at. Where you do your thing at, okay? You can't even go, you can't walk around the business because Dana White don't want you there. Dana White can get this guy removed and really mess him up in a lot of ways. I think Ariel just maybe, he might want to take a repeat. Now, Ariel can have his opinion. But see, when those opinions become inflammatory and personal, I think Ariel might want to learn how to just maybe shut the hell up on some things, man, because not everything is what it seems. And Dana White may seem like the guy that's smiling and got this bald ass head, and Dana White might look like a sucker sometimes. But the looks are very deceiving, man. This guy's very dangerous. This guy is connected. This guy he got the power to screw you. Moreover, he got the power to screw you. He can do it. So Ariel Helwani, I just think sometimes he needs to just keep his damn mouth shut sometimes, man. Keep his mouth shut. And he got a host of fighters, man. Some fighters like him. And he got a host of other fighters that just don't like him. Like, they be wanting to slap the shit out of this dude sometimes. And I think Ariel had him been slapped before, man, a couple of times by some fighters. I think he had, but, it is what it is, man. It's what it is. Ariel, I don't know. Stay out of Dana business, man. Because I think if you keep on and you keep pushing this, poking the bear, I think the bear going to growl and get your ass out of here.